tired.
As you may know, I'm trying to build a gallery wall. So on Facebook Marketplace, I purchased these 4 pieces of art for $30, which I thought was a steal. Not a big fan of the blue mats, but the frame itself is awesome and it is wired. But I'm not sure how I feel about the art. At first I love them, but they're so similar, and 2 have a lot of neon coloring that I really don't like. So I was gonna sell them, but I ended up spraying Easy Off on one of the frames and it finished beautifully. It looks rustic and aged and it will stain nicely. I am deciding to cut 2 of the pieces of art out to possibly use later. Unfortunately, the art was glued to the backing and the mat, so I wasn't able to salvage the backing or the mat, but the frames are nice. They're definitely going to be repurposed, and I think 2 of the pieces of art I'm going to keep around and see if I can do something with it. It cut out pretty nice. It kind of looks organic. We'll see what I do with that. These were kind of a pain to lift, and I ended up cutting myself once, but overall, I'd rather them be hard to lift than easy, because if they're too flimsy, they do break off and you can't reuse them. Next, I'll be removing the glass. I'm not going to actually use the glass. I think art looks better when you don't have the glass over it, but I'll hold on to them, keep them somewhere safe just in case I change my mind later. And I'm wearing a mask because I have had chemical poisoning before, so even though this Easy Off says fume free, I don't trust it. I got really sick. I had to go to the hospital. I was using the Mr. Bubbles shower foam thing, and I didn't have proper ventilation. And let me tell you, it was bad. I ended up dehydrated, and it was horrible. Anyway, I'm just getting a good spray on the 3 frames that I haven't completed yet. And I like to let the spray kind of do its thing. And normally it takes 20 to, 2 hours. 20 minutes to 2 hours is what I usually do. The sun was really hot this day. We're at 100 degrees. So it helped me. It helped the Easy Off work, I think. There it is. It's only been seconds. It's already working. So the next step is to get some hot water and some Dawn soap. And you just scrub. Scrub, scrub, scrub. I like to use the brush initially, and then I like to finish it off with the, what are they called? Steel wool pads. I like to give these a really good rinse, and if I feel I need to, I will go back with the wool pad and just keep scrubbing everything off to make sure that it's completely off. Fortunately for me, I had that strong sun on my side, so these are not going to stay wet for very long.
Okay, so these have been rinsed really well. I'm just going to let the sun kind of do its thing and age these a little bit. Really dry them out well. Because the thing with Easy Off is, like, when you do this technique, you think you know how it's going to dry, but you just don't know until it's been dried a day or so. I'm just going to give it, the sun's really hot right now, so I'm just going to give it time to dry for a couple hours, and then I might repeat the process if it's not exactly how I like it or if I think it's patchy, but so far I like the way it's turning out.
So after it dried, I did end up spot spraying where I saw that it was a little dark, and now I'm just repeating the process and hoping that when it dries again, it is a little bit more even, so that way I can finish it off with sanding and then move on to staining. You can see here that there are still pieces of wood that look darker, but ultimately it dried looking even. So I can't emphasize enough to be patient with the Easy Off and wait until it fully dries before you decide if it worked or not. You can kind of see here that it's pretty even, the coloring, compared to when I was spraying it and it was wet. So now I'm just going to sand all 3 pieces, actually 4 pieces, because the 4th piece I got Easy Off on, but I didn't sand yet. So I'm just going to get busy doing this, and then I'll clean up and give them a good wipe before I start to stain. I wanted to quickly show you my inspiration for the frames. I love my aged barrels. I love is it splotches or blotches? I don't know. I think it's blotches, but that's what I'm attempting to do here. I am going in with a color, ironically enough, called Aged Barrel. It's like a blue-black gray color. I'm just splotching it on, and then I'm quickly, with a damp terry cloth, rubbing it off as much as I can. That creates this little shadowy effect here. That's exactly what I'm going for, just blotches, splotches, whatever. You get what I'm talking about. For the rest of the frame, I'm going to re-dampen my cloth, and I'm just going to dab my cloth onto the wooden stir stick, and then I'm going to tap my glove to get the excess off, and that gives me a little bit more control to be sure that I'm putting on just a little at a time, because that espresso color I'm using is also very dark. So I want it to go on very light. I'm not pressing too hard, and I'm rubbing right away. So here they are side by side. One last look. I think I did a good job. I like both the colors together, and it's not the exact same color as my barrels, but the effect is there, and that's what I was going for. I think it looks very close. I'm very happy with it. Not sure why I couldn't get this to reflect the correct color, but here is what it really looks like. And look at that detail. It's such a pretty piece of art. I know it's probably mass produced, but the print itself is good quality. You can tell that whoever printed it selected beautiful paper, and it just looks beautiful. I love the details. I love staring at it, and I think that's the purpose of art. You're supposed to want to look at it. It's supposed to make you feel a type of way, and this definitely does. So I want it to go on to the gallery wall. However, I hate the frame. Look how ugly that is. It's all scuffed up. I don't think I'm going to use the glass. However, I'm undecided at this time, so I'm just going to tape it off for now. And that way I have the option when I'm finished. I'm going to put a layer of this camel color acrylic paint that I have, and I'm not concerned with brush marks or brush strokes because it creates texture, and that's what I want. I'm not trying to get it to look like wood, but the closer it looks to wood or the color of wood, the better it will blend in with the other frames that I have that are wood. Now that I have everything painted, my next step is to spread on to the paint a oil-based stain called Golden Oak. I wasn't sure how this is going to turn out, but I ended up really liking the way it looks. And it dried fairly quickly, so the only thing is that it ended up looking gold, and that's not what I was going for. So I decided to add another layer of paint, the acrylic paint, in the color Bittersweet Chocolate. It's pretty dark, so I was a little nervous, but it ended up looking pretty. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm so sad because I ended up putting 3 coats of this, and I just ended up making it look dark brown, which is not what I was going for. So in my next video, I'm going to attempt to redo the process and see if I can't get it to look like this again. But if you want an idea of how I did it, I just simply applied the paint directly on to the stain, and then I used a damp sponge brush, and I just quickly spread it as far as I can get that to spread. And because it's an oil-based stain, I think it made the difference. I was able to move the paint very easily across the frame, no problem. And I just think it looks very pretty. I'm sure with practice I could get it to look better, so I'm definitely going to try this again. But it dries quick, and look how easy that goes on. It's so pretty. It's not perfect, but it kind of looks like the aged barrel frame that I made. I'll write down in this description what I end up sealing it with. And this is it looking just a little too dark for my preference. You can even see the green underneath trying to peek through. It's just a little too different than my stain frames. But it still looks pretty. Even if I left it like this, it would still go. I'm just going to try to lighten it up just a little bit. I'm not sure why the color is coming out this way. Maybe it's the time of day I'm filming. I do feel, however, that's the before, that after I fix my mistake there, it's going to look nice. It came out nice.
Hello. I'm going to record here because this is like the best lighting. You can actually see. And it's quiet. My daughter's napping, so I still can't be too loud, but hopefully you can hear. This is actually going to be my future bar lounge area, but I'm not even close to being here yet. I have 3 other projects ahead of this one, but for now I just chill in here. It's kind of a catch-all, to be honest with you. It's a mess. My alcohol's there. I'm not drinking, but yeah, I've been slacking on my cleaning. I feel like I'm gonna be sick. I just feel like sluggish and kind of like, you know when you're gonna get sick. So I've been just loading up on liquid IV and bone broth, you know, eating all the things and getting rest, trying to at least. My daughter's stuffy, my son's stuffy, so it's just going around. I think my sister and my nieces are also in the same situation, but so yeah, I'm not really too anal about my cleaning right now like I normally am, but I do feel like I want to get this project done because holy moly, I've had the frames and everything just in my living room. Well, in this catch-all area. This is my second living room, aka future lounge. But anyways, it's just all here and I'm tired of staring at it. But I am going to try and get myself organized so that I can get this done. So let's go.
I decided, I better lay everything out on the floor next to each other before I go nailing things up to the wall. And I'm so glad I did because I'm not sure I like it, especially the colorful art. Maybe not for the gallery wall.
So I made cutouts I'm somewhat happy with, but I'm not sure I'm going to keep it that way because I just laid everything on the floor side by side and I don't love it as much. I was a little disappointed that after I laid everything out on the floor I didn't love it, because on the wall I love it. And I was feeling like, all right, that's it, that's what we're gonna do, ready to nail. But I just feel like I don't know if the frames that I chose are the right fit. So I'm gonna make my fixes and then I'm gonna lay them down again. I also have one that's really colorful and I love the piece of art, but I don't know if it goes because everything's kind of neutral or like earth toned. So it's either a good thing that it's super colorful because it's breaking things up and adding, a variety, some fun, or it's just like, oh, too different, I don't know. So I'm gonna think about it a little bit, and I'm gonna also choose my art for the frames that I need art for, and I'm really excited about that. And I will go over all of that, the fixes, my corrections, picking the art, putting the art in the frames, selecting my frames, putting it on the wall. That'll be all on the next video because I think it'll just be too long to try and fit it all into one. So I really hope you stay tuned and subscribe so that you can see how this all turns out. It's definitely harder than I thought it was going to be. It's like a little puzzle. You have to make it work between the frames and the layout and the sizes of everything. It's just, it's a lot. I'm excited. I think it's going to look really nice when it does finally come together. So stay tuned and thank you for watching. Have a good day.